Am I audible, guys?
Yeah, Karthik, we can hear you.
Nobody is speaking. I'm remaining calm.
Yeah. Which batch student was he, Karthik? How
He's
many
from
months?
March batch. March after means he completed his course in June. He started giving the interviews, but he didn't done proxy and all. He given on his own.
Okay.
So recently, yesterday itself, I think he got.
Okay. And companies are calling for face-to-face interviews, or is it like virtual for all the ones? How is it going on, Karthik, for this particular domain?
Depends upon the company's requirement.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's completely depends upon the company's requirement. If many companies are calling for face to face for the final routes.
Okay.
Yeah. Recently, we got a call from company called Alliance Pro. So it's completely first round, second round, third round is face to face. Only they are encouraging the candidates who are willing to come to face to face.
Okay. So it's becoming completely transparent again, before COVID, how it was.
Exactly, because the main mistake of proxy is he don't know what's the even he don't know about the process and procedure. He's simply entering into the organization. How he'll do all the things?
Yeah, you should be able to manage as well. At least
If
managing skills should be there.
not even managing, if at all, if at all you learn the course, it will give an exposure to speak. Let's
Exactly.
say if at all somebody asked you yesterday what we discussed about the SOC 2 reports.
SOC, how is then why is it useful? How is it useful? Governance, like people
Right?
HR controls we have seen.
Yeah. So if at all one person came to you and asked you in the interview, what are the people controls that you have audited, like that, if at all he asked, then if at all he's saying, people, people controls. Oh, yeah, yeah. People controls means HR controls, right? No, I didn't done that. If at all he say like this, nobody will trust him because it's very basic controls. We need to adhere to the people controls because we need to audit on the process which will be run by the people. So if at all somebody came to you and asked you when, like, for people controls what you'll audit, if at all you say this answer, nobody will trust because it's the basic controls. Yeah, in people controls we done the as people controls is a part of HR team. We need to see all the BGB reports of the HR team for the last for the new hires who are joined in the organization in last past 6 months. So whether they got it or not, and so whether we got all the BGB reports before the speculated time or not, and is the non-disclosure forms, NDA forms are are displayed or signed before the joining of the employee or not. So did we took the consent of non-disclosure agreements of the candidate on the onboarding time or not? So all these things we used to get the information from the HR team. Like that we need to speak. You're getting my point? So that's the difference, which will vary from original candidate and the people who is portraying the, portraying the experience and getting. So if at all you decided to portray your experience, you need to work hard on the topics. What I am saying, clear, Amir?
Yeah, Karthik, it's clear.
Yes, yes.
We got it.
So, so today we'll deal with, you know, the basic intro about the SOC 1, SOC 2. So a very basic intro. And the types. Just it's very crisp and little bit. As it's a weekend, I don't want to stress you more. So yeah. So SOC 1, as we know, it will deal with all the financial controls, and SOC 2, we know that other than financial controls, right? So here, whether in SOC 1 as well as in SOC 2, there are two types of reportings. type 1 and type 2. Type 1 and type 2. So actually, after preparing this report, after preparing this SOC 1 or SOC 2 report, are we, the IT auditors, the skilled and expertised IT auditors, will give the sign off on these reports? Or who will be the person giving a sign on these reports to make these reports very legitimate, to make these reports more valid and authentic? So what's your opinion, guys? Who will be gonna sign this?
Manager.
The audit managers.
A certified audit auditor.
Yeah, can you please pardon Larry?
Yes. I said a certified auditor.
Perfect, Larry. Perfect. But there is a word missing in middle. Certified auditors, not certified public accountants, the CPAs. The CPA will audit no the financial controls, and he will give his sign on the financial report, financial controls, what the organization is following, whether all the internal controls in the organization are working better or not. He'll do the he will do the assessment on that. Based on that assessment, like for this assessment we can call this as an audit. Based on the results of the audit, he will give his opinion by signing off.
Sorry,
ఏంటండి? I can't able to listen you అండి. మీ వాయిస్ వినిపించట్లేదండి. చెప్పండి. ఏంటండి? అర్థం కాల.
He's having some internet issues.
Can you please explain it again? Yeah, I'm explaining అండి. I didn't stop that. Till more ఉంది, ఇంకా ఉంది. Yeah, I'll explain. Let's say TCS is being audited by EY. That means EY is an external audit firm which is giving auditing service to TCS, both SOC 1 and SOC 2. Both reports, let's say I prepared as an IT auditor, I prepared the SOC 2 report. What I did, I prepared the SOC 2 report. Okay, guys. So before this, so not, I'll do some my work, okay, and I'll do some my work, and I will make the report very legitimate by collecting the evidences. So same things will be done in SOC 1 by the financial auditor, right? That's what we said in yesterday's class, right? The SOC 2 report will be dealt by IT auditor. SOC 1 report will be given by the financial auditor. But my question is, after I prepared this audit report, after this financial auditor will prepare this audit report, how we can able to say that it's legitimate? See, let's say I will bring it down. You have an account in HDFC Bank. That means you have checkbook of that, right? And who need to be signed on this check?
Account holder.
Right? Without, I took one of the check, but I didn't sign it. I took it to the bank and I deposited. What they will say, what the bank people will say,
It's not valid.
right? Like that, even though it's financial auditor done the financial audit and IT auditor done the IT audit and prepare the reports, it won't be valid, guys. It won't be valid. There need to be an authority that need to be signed on this report, guys. There is a person who is the signing authority of this SOC 1 and SOC 2 report, guys. So that person will be, that signing authority person will be called as CPA, Chartered Public Accountant. Somebody will call it certified, but chartered is the right word. Chartered Public Accountant. That means CPA is equals to CA in India. You all familiar with the word called CA, right? So in US it's CPA, in India it's CA. So where will be the, you know, all the firms which are situated in India, all the Fortune 500 MNCs, where will be the main source or the main headquarters of these organizations? Majorly US, UK. So how, hello, చెప్తాము. Sai Karthik, not registered auditors, like, you know, any organization, any external auditing firm, any firm is auditing other client, definitely that reports need to be signed by CPA, and the CPA will have a unique license number along with the sign, along with the sign of the report. The CPA will give his license number. Clear? So then only the SOC 2 report, the SOC 1 or SOC 2 report is valid. The signing authority of SOC 1 and SOC 2 reports will be the CPA. Clear, guys? Any doubts? Dikshit Reddy, any doubts?
So do the SOC auditors use any specific tools for the audits, or only the manual thing will be doing? Manually they will be verifying.
There won't be any tools, Sai Karthik. I think I already explained this in demo. There will be no tools which will be ordered. The whole audit procedure is going on. It's completely a manual process. It's runs on the procedures. Like if at all in SOC 1, we need to audit the generals, we need to audit the ledgers, we need to audit the cash flows, we need to audit the purchase orders, we need to audit the revenue cycles, we need to audit the purchase cycles, we need to audit the payroll cycles. So how we are auditing the payroll cycles, how we are auditing the revenue cycles? Revenue cycle means how the cash is coming inflow into the organization. There will be no tool in any organization in the world will automate the revenue cycle, will automate the purchase cycle, will automate the conversion cycle. Alongside with that, coming to the SOC 2 report, if at all we need to know how the team is performing, if at all I need to know how Sai Karthik is performing in the ITGC classes in VLR Training Institute. how I need to know. I need to ask the questions based on the ITGC subject, how you are saying. I need to test you with the questionnaire. Likewise, I need to test, I need to question the team, how you are implementing inside the organization the ITGC principles, the ITGC controls, the ISO controls, the privacy policies, the procedures that you are taking. How I can automate all these things in a tool? I can't, right? So that's the thing. That's why it's completely a manual procedure where we need to audit each and every internal control. Clear, Sai Karthik?
Yes, yes.
So coming back.
Karthik, I have one doubt here. Like you have mentioned, CPA would be the final authority who will be giving a sign off if the report is legitimate, right?
Okay.
So like CPA is in you are saying like it's in the US, in US or English states, like it's CPA. In India, it's CA who will be giving an sign off.
Let's say you are working in EY. You are working in EY in India. Okay.
Okay.
And you're doing Dutch bank audit.
Okay, Dutch bank. Okay.
Dutch bank audit. Where is the Dutch bank located?
I exactly don't know. I am
No.
aware of the
The
name.
name itself is saying that in Dutch.
Dutch. Okay. Yeah.
Where, how the Indian CA is having any authority to sign the Dutch bank internal controls?
Yeah, it should obviously be from the same like that.
No. Only US CPA is having rights to sign more than 60 plus countries audit report.
Okay.
US CPA is vastly acceptable. So there are certain principles and gap generally accepted auditing principles, accounting principles, and generally accepting accounting auditing standards that the US board is using. Okay, there are some laws for issuers and non-issuers. So it's morely dealt by US CPA. If at all the companies lying inside India, they can do. CS are the signing authorities. If at all you want to audit the US clients, the international clients, definitely you need to be certified with US CPA. If at all you want to become a signing authority. Clear?
Okay. Yeah,
Amit,
clear. It's
am I
clear.
answerable? Yep.
Yes, it's
So,
pretty clear. Thank you.
Coming back, as I mentioned, there are two types of SOC 1, two types, SOC 1, SOC 2. Again in SOC 1, type 1 and type 2. Type 1, type 2. That means here, type 1 is nothing but test of design. T2 is nothing but test of operating effectiveness. Same in SOC 2 as well. T1 is called test of design TOD. T2 is called test of operating effectiveness TOE. Clear? Any doubts? In SOC 1, type 1 will be test of design. Type 2 will be test of operating effectiveness. In SOC 2, type 1 test of design. Type 2 test of operating effectiveness. Clear or having any doubts?
No. Clear.
So then now. So first, the auditor's responsibility will be So first, the auditor need to do the risk assessment on the organization internal controls. So what's the change management controls? What's the incident management controls? What the vulnerability management controls? All the controls, we need to get an idea. We need to do some risk assessment on them. How we will do this? We will see in the risk management sessions and risk assessment sessions. First, we need to understand the internal controls which are being followed by the organization. Which are being followed by the organization. Mark my words, guys. No organization will be in a state with there is no internal controls. Every organization will have the internal controls. So we, as an auditor, as an experienced IT auditor, we need to understand the efficacy of the internal controls. How we need to understand this efficiency and efficacy of internal controls means we need to do the control testing by performing the test of controls. We need to do the control testing by performing the test of controls. The test of controls is nothing but TOD, where we need to check the control from the design level, test of design, where TOE is nothing but test of operating effectiveness. How it's performing, how the design, from the design level we need to test, from the operating effectiveness means how effectively it's working we need to see. So here we will use a random sampling methodology. In IT audit, I'm not speaking in terms of financial audit, I'm speaking in terms of IT audit. So we will use the random sampling methodology. So let's say we have a control. So control is saying that all the new hires need to finish BGV before the 90th day from date of joining. This is the control, guys. How an IT auditor will audit this control according to TOD. First, keep in mind, TOD and TOE will be done by the external auditors, not by the internal auditors. But in auditing, definitely we need to know these things. The test of controls means what, all these things we need to know. So as anybody,
in people's control, when we run the new hires, whoever joined from the last few months or the last month, like whenever the data which we are auditing, we need to see the BGB has been done before the 90 days as per the control.
good.
If not,
Then what? How we need to? Right here, my question is,
yeah,
how we need to legitimate? How we
yeah,
need to do this TOD?
yeah, we need to take the date of joining and we need to calculate till the 90 days, like when the BOD is done.
Good.
So we will figure out the average of dates which has been done. So according to that, the control will be performed. If there are any red flags, we can report it to the manager.
Good. Good. Actually, great answer. So what you said is absolutely right. What you said is absolutely right. But so let's stay before in external auditor perspective, if at all we are doing audit in 9/20/2024. So, sorry, 4. We need to consider last 1 year new hires. That means who joined in the last year. That means who joined in the organization last year. For those candidates, this control is satisfied by them or not. So first, we will take the whole new hires list who are joined in last year. Let's say the whole people who are joined in the last year, the total number is 300. 300 new employees joined in the organization in last year, in between 9/20/2024 to 9/20/2023. In between this 365 days, there are 300 new hires. So this total new hires will be considered as population. This total number will be considered as population. Guys, in this total population, let's think, if at all an external auditor coming from the another firm, is it possible for him to do audit for all these 300 candidates?
No.
If at all he started auditing this all 300 candidates, he will be everlasting for this only one control. But there are n number of other controls who will do that. That's why this control testing methodologies are evolved. Clear, guys? Am I clear? So in this 300, the auditor, the external auditor will pick one sample. The external auditor will pick one sample among this 300. Out of this 300, the external auditor will pick one sample, and he sees this one sample is satisfying the above mentioned control or not. If this sample is satisfying the control, then the next moment he will move to the TOE. If the sample itself failed, then he will stop the audit. Then here you guys will get some doubts like, sir, out of 300, why not only this one sample is failed? Why shouldn't this remaining 299 are passed? This is question number 1. And sir, as TOD is only for one sample, out of this one sample, and TOE is some other, let's say, X samples, what about in TOE? I didn't explain the procedure, but I'm saying 25. Let's say I'll explain this as well, but for your understanding, I'm saying, let's say this 26 minus 300, 274 something. So, sir, what if this 274 are failed? What if only this 26 are passed? Among this, the auditor unknowingly, unfortunately, he selected only these 26 controls randomly. What if only these 26 controls are perfect and remaining 274 are failed? What we can able to do in this scenario? Because this 274 is untapped by the auditor. What we can do, sir? Guys, always audit provides only, mainly the external audit provides only the reasonable assurance. What he provides? The external audit report provides the reasonable assurance, but the internal auditor will provide the absolute assurance. So then what's the difference between reasonable and absolute assurance? So let's say, guys, my question is here. What is the internal, whether the internal auditor in month, that means these 300 employees won't join in only one day, right? These 300 employees took time for 365 days to join. In whole 365 days, 300 employees was joined, right or not? Guys,
Yes, sir.
right? So my audit, my internal audit frequency is for 1 month. That means I check this HR control for every 1 month, or let's say for every 3 months. That means the internal auditor audits all the new hires control for every 3 months. That means he is going through each and every new hire. He is going through each and every new hire who gonna join the organization. So here that means the internal auditor already audited this 300 new hires. He already audited this whole population. That means the internal auditor is giving absolute assurance to the external auditor, stating that, hey, external auditor, I already done audit on this control, stating that, and he's stating that all these 300 employees are got their BGV reports before the 90 days itself. So these are the evidences. See, these are the evidences. I'm showing it to you. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, Karthik. Karthik, the 3 months
second,
which you
Amir.
have mentioned.
1 second, Amir. Amir, 1 second.
Okay. Sure.
Larry, is it clear or any doubts?
Yes, it's very clear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Larry. Yeah, Amir, please go on.
Yeah, the 3 months period which you have mentioned, it's like standardized across all the organization. Or you have just given an example, like 3
It's just
months.
an example.
Example. Okay.
Some
It varies from
organization will
organization
set,
to organization.
1 second. Some organization, yes, varies from one organization to one organization. One organization will keep 2 months, one organization will keep 3 months, one organization will keep 1 month, one organization will keep interim, like 6 months. It's completely upon their opinions, because HR team is a team where the regular changes are happening, will be happen, because all the new hires will be managed by HR team that need to be audited for every 3 months. We need to make sure that all the BGV reports of the new hires came before the 90 days or not. We need to make sure. So that means the organization will set up frequency for 3 months. Let's say if at all we are using a sensitive application inside our organization, so we need to make sure that the access for that application wouldn't be possessed by the people who are not having authority or the job role that they are need to perform in that application. So in that situations, we need to do the user access right review for every month. So the frequency may differ from team to team, from the process to process. Am I clear, Amir?
Yeah, Karthik, it's very clear.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to stress much. This is all about the TOD, the control testing, what we will do on the controls, and the TOE will be discussed on Monday, and Saturday and Sunday we won't have any classes. So yeah, from yesterday's class and today's class, any other doubts that you have, you can freely ask. The mic is open for you.
Sorry.
Yeah,
This is I've got a question. I don't know if I think maybe you've touched on it before. So when we're doing this testing these controls,
Yeah.
Are we going to be documenting all our findings on like a tool like Excel spreadsheet or like Jira? Where
Definitely.
are we going to be
Definitely.
documenting
We will
all of
document. We will document, Larry. Like if at all in this control, let's say BGV. Let's say we are speaking about BGV.
Yes.
What's BGV control is saying? BGV control is strictly saying that we need to we need to get the audit BGV report, not audit. We need to get the BGV report from the vendor before the 90 days from the joining of the candidate, right?
Yes.
So here,
Yes.
how as an experienced auditor, how you can able to legitimate that the audit report of the concerned person is came before 90 days? How you can able to legitimate?
As an
What the,
internet.
so let's say I'll explain.
Okay.
Yeah. Is my screen visible, Larry?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Let's say, let's say there is a control. There is a control. There is a control.
Yes.
Control is stating that you, as a Larry, you are working with Emirates, Emirates as a ATC, or as traveling experience auditor. You're working as traveling experience auditor, and there is an internal control for all traveling experience auditors that they need to travel they need to travel on every Monday from from let's say Germany to America, because it's a huge regularly travelers will more use this service line. So as a travel service auditors, you need to inspect whether all the things are going better on this flight or not. So this is the internal control for your team need to follow. So as an auditor, how I will legitimate that you traveled in this month, in the September month, on every Monday? How can I able to legitimate that you traveled from Germany to America? What will be the evidence? If at all I asked you, Larry, did
The
you
flight
really
log.
travel? Exactly. What's that?
The flight log.
Flight log, right? Right? Here, think it once. What's the control here is, internal control is, for new hires, the BGV need to be finished finished not more than not more than 90 days from joining. So here, what will be our evidence? The BGV report, the BGV report, which will be given by the vendor, the BGV report, which will be given by the vendor. Basing on this, in this BGV report, we will have the date of joining of the employee in our organization, and
Yes.
when the BGV vendor submitted this BGV report. So we will validate that the gap between the date of joining and the BGV
90
report
days.
given date. So if at all it's falling less than 90 days, the control is perfect. If it's falling more than 90 days, then we will see in our Monday's class what we need to do. Clear, Larry?
Yes. Yes. Very
Yeah.
clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Any doubts, guys?
Hi, Karthikeyan. Good evening.
Yeah, Suman, good evening.
One doubt is,
Yep.
by any chance, the external auditor will audit the internal auditor report?
Definitely we will do that. See,
Okay.
I'll give you a random example. I don't want to explain like this dry, because it will, as it's a new subject, you won't also can't able to digest if at all I say vaguely. So let's say you are an external auditor and coming to my organization, and you are auditing each and every internal control in my organization, right? You will audit all my internal controls basing on the evidences. Let's say you randomly came to my organization and you're calling each and every team, and you're taking the controls list from the RCM document, and you're asking each and every team to provide the evidences. How many days it will take, Suman?
It take a months, basically.
Not even a month. It will take more than 6 months.
Hello.
If at all. ఎవరండి మాట్లాడుతుంది?
Sorry, it's my phone.
Yeah, no, Suman. Yeah, it's completely fine. Yeah. See, my answer is, so if at all you are an external auditor, you're coming from EY to TCS. So there are internal controls, but there is no internal audit reports, and there is no evidences. There is no evidences still collected for the internal audit. In the internal audit, as an external auditor, you came and you saw the controls, but there is no evidences that these controls are being followed by the organization. There is no regular internal audits that are being done. So how will you get the evidences? How will legitimate that these controls are being implemented inside the organization? How will you get to that legitimacy? No, right? So this is all the roles and responsibilities of internal auditor, to audit all the internal controls regularly and to provide the absolute assurance to the external auditor by showing all the controls are working perfectly in the environment by providing the legitimate evidences. If at all any deviations that the external auditor saw in that evidences, directly he will call the team POC in the presence of internal auditor and he will ask. Clear, Suman?
Yeah, done.
Yep. So,
Karthikeyan,
yes, Meenu.
external auditor will always use sampling methodology. Is it right?
Yes.
Yeah. So any other methodologies, like any other methods that they use?
In IT audit, we won't use other methodologies. There are, haphazard methodologies, systematic sampling methodologies. There are many methodologies out there, but in IT audit, those are all used in financial auditing. That too in SOC 1 reporting, it won't be used in IT auditing. In IT auditing, we'll go with random sampling methodology. If at all you took the systematic approach of sampling, we need to go N is equals to K is equals to capital N by small n, where we need to take the auditing period and the whole population and the desired population what we want to take, capital N by small n. These all will be dealt in financial auditing, not in IT auditing. In IT auditing, we go with random sampling methodology. Clear?
Understood.
Yeah.
And like any time period is there, like external audits on a yearly basis it's going to be, or it's like
I think I answered this yesterday, right, Meenushek? Hey, no. Who said that it's quarterly? No. Yesterday I said this answer.
Yeah,
Please.
financial.
Yeah, exactly. Maximum it will be a year. That to be the financial year, not the calendar year, but financial year, March to April. April 1st to March 31st. Like that, majorly. Like, the organization, the third party or the independent audit firm, which is providing the financial auditing to the organization, it only will use the IT auditing services as well. So as financial audit will be done by the CPA, the firm itself will send the IT auditor as well. Once the IT auditor finish the external audit, he will submit the report to the CPA and he'll signs in both SOC 1 and SOC 2 reports, which will be used as, the financial audit reports and the IT audit reports as well. He'll sign and he'll publish the audit reports. Yeah. Clear, Meenu?
Understood. Thank you so much, Karthikeyan.
Thank you, Meenu. Yeah.
Can you share some slides, sir? We want to write, sir.
Sandeep, here in my class, I won't do any dummy PPTs that will explain and that will deviate the topic. I'm not such trainer who will maintain the PPTs and all. I'll explain the things what I am doing inside my job, and you need to maintain the running notes what I'm writing. Okay, what I'm writing on the board. Okay, after that, once I finished all these things, I will go to the real time. I don't show like mucking up the RCM what I prepared in Excel. I'll take the real time RCM what I auditing, what I'm still auditing in my organization. I'll show that. So my style will be like this. I won't prepare any PPTs to show you and deviate you. It will be approach of freshers, as we are keeping some experience. So it will be dealt like this in my class. Am I answerable, Sandeep? So yes, that's all for today, guys. Let's
Karthik, I had like two doubts. Like,
please
is
ask.
it fine if I can? Yeah.
Yeah,
So, for, like, two are interlinked. The first one is like any registered IT firm, whether small, big, any size. So, is there any rule or act that they must and should have an internal IT auditor?
The second question is,
The second question is like for any IT firm which is like registered IT firm, they should get their IT infrastructure or IT to be audited by an external auditor. Hope the second question is clear. Karthik, or do you want me to repeat?
any firm, if at all they want to enter into the issuers means the public domain company. If at all that company wants to enter into the stock market or SIP or anything, definitely it need to be audited by the external auditor.
Okay.
Whenever company wants to become issuer from a non-issuer status, definitely they need to be audited every year, and they need to be very clear with the internal controls on basis what they are preparing their financial statements. So definitely the external auditor need to audit the financial controls, and basing on the financial controls how they are preparing the financial statements, how fairly they are preparing the financial statements. So it needs to be audited by the external auditor. And apart from that, the previously it will be the cash transactions and check transactions. Now it's completely digital. So
Exactly.
definitely where these financial transactions are happening, those applications, those IT systems also need to be audited, and they need to be present their audit reports in front of the government. So this is the answer for this, for your second question. And first question, definitely each and every organization will have the internal controls on place, but basing on the company's size, basing on the services that the company is providing, it's not that much necessary until they enter into the big firms, or even though they are issuers or non-issuers. Basing on the size of the organization, basing on the interests of the organization will decide whether they need to keep the GRC team or not. That means internal auditor team or not. It's completely on the management's perception or management's thought process.
Yeah, Karthik, I got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other question, guys? Okay, then let's meet in Monday session. Good night and happy weekend.
Thank you, Karthik.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thanks for
Thank you
joining,
very
guys.
much. Bye bye.
Bye. Great day, Larry. Good night.
Yeah.